We have so much research out there that show that this form of psychological abuse is just as damaging as sexual or physical abuse. And yet it's not recognized. And I mean, when we talk about this, so many people will recognize and said, yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. It's, like in divorced couple, we see, but people don't realize how serious this is.
Right now, this woman who's been here and been very patient with us the whole time, Miss Petra is here to talk to us about something very special. Would you bring her? Would you be so kind as to?
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, she has a wonderful organization that she's working with, and I'm so excited that she's here this morning. Please show her some love right there in the comments, but get your pen and papers from the 90s ready, because she's going to come with some good information. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Petra Deeter.
Hi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here.
It's so good to see you. Thank you for being here. First, tell me the name of your organization again. I love it.
It's called Victim to Hero.
Victim to Hero. And you spell T-O, Victim to Hero. We're saying that at the beginning. Now tell me what it's about.
Yeah, so Victim to Hero is where we empower victims of parental alienation. Now, I know that term sounds a little bit complicated, but actually it's something that you've seen a lot out there. People just don't realize how serious this problem is. So parental alienation is a situation where you see one parent or someone that will influence or brainwash or manipulate a child to reject a relationship with the other parent. So, like usually in a divorce or separation, maybe saying, your father is an alcoholic, he's abusive, or, your mother is cheated on me and your mother doesn't care about you, things like that. And I mean, we see this, like just imagine as adults, right? And if we have friends, a couple of friends, and when they break up, we know that, if we're hanging out with the wives, we will not talk to the husband because, she's going to get upset. And the same,
Right.
if we stay buddy with the husband, we're not going to try to be friends with the wife anymore because they broke up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now you're thinking about, how awkward it is when you go to a party and both of them are there, right? So now you're thinking about the children, and especially when one of the parent is a person that pressure the child to give up the relationship with the other parent. I mean, this is a form of child abuse. It's a form of domestic violence because parents are trying to get even with their exes. So they put the child in the middle of the parent. Yeah, they put the child in the middle of the parent conflict. And then now the child's being pressured to choose. It's like, I can't show my love to my dad or my mom because the other parent's going to get upset. And we have all this, in America, there's over 3.9 million children who are severely or moderately affected by this form of abuse. It's called parental alienation. And it's 3 times as many of children affected by parental alienation than children with autism. And we represent these adult children, like these children that are adult, and how it's impacted their life, like how is because you can, when you wake up at one point and you realize how a major part of your life was a lie because your mom or your dad forced you into rejecting one of your parents. So now you have trust issue.
Wow.
And you're talking about children that are growing up, we both need both parents, and now you rejected one of your parents because the lies that were told to you. So now you grow up and you're like, I can't trust people anymore. I feel depressed. That kind of problem. We have so much research out there that show that this form of psychological abuse is just as damaging as sexual or physical abuse. And yet it's not recognized. And I mean, when we talk about this, so many people will recognize and say, yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. It's, like in divorced couple, we see, but people don't realize how serious this is. And it gets to the point where some parents will get so manipulated that they will do anything to destroy the other parent, creating, false allegation of sexual abuse, physical abuse. And then we have situation, for example, last week in Los Angeles, we have a mother. She'd been trying to destroy the children's relationship with the father to the point that she dragged him through court, and then he went to court and proven that he never abused the children. She ended up killing these 3 children. She stabbed these 3 children and then went to try to hunt him down. And then luckily he was not at home at the time. But this mother went on the hunt. After she stabbed his 3 children, went on the hunt to look for the father to kill it. I mean, that's how serious it is. We're looking at, in our organization, we're looking at a research right now trying to determine how many children are being killed every year due to parental alienation. It's so serious.
But wait, what can a child do? Well, I mean, it sounds like a helpless situation. And I do got to give a shout out to Denise Dawson, my baby mama, because she did not do that. Because although we were alienated from each other, she never browbeat me to my daughter. And so she only spoke good of me to my daughter. And so now me and my daughter has this awesome relationship now that she's 25. And I didn't get to really start knowing her till she was like 7. And now we just adore each other. And I think the reason we can do that is because she wasn't brainwashed and told a bunch of ugly stuff about me, but so that the mother could feel better about herself. So what does a kid do? What does a person do if they're in that situation?
You know what? It's really unfair to put this on the kids. We, the adults, need to make the change. Society need to recognize this problem. And a lot of the time, adults like teachers and neighbors, friends, they don't realize how serious it is, and they think like, oh, it is not my problem. I don't want to step in. I don't want to interfere. And sometimes they will buy into the brainwashing. So, sometimes one of the parents will say, oh yeah, the father or the mother. I mean, we're working on a documentary film right now that is featuring a case where a 10-year-old boy was killed by the father, and the father. Now that we're interviewing all the family, all the people involved, the father friends, they all believed what he said. The father said, oh, the mother was a drug abuse. She doesn't care about the child. She's not around. I mean, we interviewed the mother. She's an amazing nurse who is a loving mother who was not allowed to see the child because the father and the stepmother was doing everything to prevent the child from being able to see her. So, expecting the child to do something is really impossible. It's the parents, it's the society, like the system has to change. The law has to recognize that this is a form of child abuse and domestic violence.
Yes. So what about outside the parents? Because you're saying it's the parents to do it, but the parents aren't doing it. The one parent is being abusive, and the other one, all he could do is really complain that it's not true. What do we do to heal it, though? Do the grandparents maybe come in and help? What do we do to I'm not sure. I'm not clear.
Yeah, no, there's solution that needed at all levels. So at the highest level, we need public recognition. We need public awareness. And then at the system level, the system has to change because there has to be laws that recognize that this is a form of child abuse. So for example, in Texas, today we're pushing, like there's a Texas bill called HB 2153 that is authored by House Rep Dutton. And we're trying to push for this bill to be heard. And this bill would put this form of manipulation as a form of child abuse. And we need the Committee of Juvenile Justice and Family Issues to hear this bill and put it into a law that this is a form of child abuse. So we need the system change. And then we need professionals like lawyers, therapists, school teachers, police out there to recognize that because they are the people that are going to enforce the law. We need these people to recognize because, this form of abuse is so counterintuitive. People, when they look at a child that rejects a parent, the first thing they think is something is wrong with that parent. They will assume that parent has been abusive. They don't realize that, oh, wait, that child's being manipulated by someone else. They don't think about that. So we need public awareness, right? We need people to go, oh, why is this child not seeing that parent? Is it true that parent is abusive or is that something else? We need society to stop, and then people need to intervene. Like you said, maybe grandparents, maybe someone to stop and say, hey, actually, you need to stop saying those bad things to the child because people do witness this. People do see that the dad will say, oh, your mom is, is an alcoholic, or your mom is emotionally unstable. She's insane. You hear this thing. You need to stop and say, hey, you shouldn't say that to the child. The child shouldn't be involved in your problem. You can have problem with your ex, but the child should still have the right to love their parents. So, like people doing,
I know I have a dozen friends who have complained about that, who have complained that their spouse, their ex-spouse, is turning their child against them. And so I hear what you're saying, and I agree. It should be recognized through law as a form of child abuse. That is, you're right. That is one of the solutions, because then parents won't be so quick to use their child as a tool against their ex if they know that there's legal ramifications. So
Right.
I'm very proud of you of that. So when is the documentary coming out, and what is it called?
It's called At All Cost, because
At All
this
Cost.
yeah,
Okay.
this father was doing everything he could to destroy that relationship, and ultimately he took away the child's life. You know, the boy was
Wow.
10 years old. He's a beautiful boy, and yeah, it's so crazy because we interview all the agencies there's a system failure. We interviewed, there was the police force, the probation office, the family court, the civil courts, the criminal courts, everybody involved, and the child protective agencies, and everyone said this is the worst case of child abuse possible, and nobody stepped in to say enough is enough. And then finally, after 5 years of custody battle involving 2 different states, and finally, one judge said, okay, I see what's going on. This is enough. I'm not going to stand around and let you continue with this abuse. I think I'm going to take tonight to think about it, and I'm going to probably give the mother some of the time back, because the mother had custody the whole entire time, and the father never let the mother see the child. The father withheld the child, and the stepmom, the both of them, brainwashing the child and everything. And then so the judge said, I'm going to think about it tonight. And that night, the father killed the child. It's horrific. I mean, it's we interview the police and the police department, and this detective that they like, okay, I can't do this on camera, but then off the camera they was crying that it affected them so badly. It's so and it's not even an isolated situation. We interview so many cases, and I mean those are the tragic ending. But what about all these other cases where you don't need murder for this to be horrible? We have so
That's
many
true.
parents.
That's
We
true.
have so many adult children. I am one of those child. By the time I realized it, my father's already passed. I never get to rebuild that relationship with my father. And, like so many people are affected by this.
I am so glad that you're on this job and that you're doing this documentary. And when did you say it comes out?
It's going to be coming out before the end of the year. We're in the process of filming it. So in a few weeks, we're going to go to Florida to, so we went to Colorado to film majority of it. And then we're going to go to Florida because that's where the father family is from. And they want to talk to us because they are so angry. And they want to make sure this doesn't happen to any other children again.
And
yeah.
will you remain cautious yourself? I need
Yes.
you to be cautious, because
Thank you.
that means there are going to be folks who are not going to like you because you're interfering in the drama that they want to keep going.
Oh my God, you are really wise. We are being attacked. I'm being personally attacked. I'm being like people that would going behind my back, backstabbing me. People would create smearing campaign. That's the problem when you are an activist. And this is just, there's no way around it. This is, but if I don't speak up, I really feel like we should all speak up.
I know, but we won't. Most people are sheep and not going to say anything. They're waiting for the white knight to come in armor and to save them. People are always waiting for the hero to come, but we have to be the hero. We can't wait for that. But I need you to be cautious because you know this. So you need to keep your eyes open. One of the things I want to be talking about soon on the shows is how, in general, people need to be more cautious. When you go places, when you walk towards your door, have your key out already. Look around already so you know everything's around you. You walk directly to the door, put a key in, and get in. Don't be humming on the phone and stuff heading towards your door, because you never know who's watching you, and you become more visible because you're in a situation where other people can be mad at you. So I just need you to be very, 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 very cautious, and we're proud of you. I'm so proud of you. How do people find you so they can ask more about this? I know that our viewers want to know more. How do they reach you?
Yeah, so it's called Victim to Hero. So we are on a website called victimtohero.com, but we are also on Facebook, Victim to Hero Facebook. So yeah, people can definitely find us there. We do one of the big thing is we do programs to empower victims. So we bring in like forensic psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists, lawyers to help victims to learn about this, understand the psychology behind this, how to like giving them tools so that they can fight for their case, things like that. So yeah, we have a lot of stuff on Facebook that people can follow.
Gosh, I wish we had more time. I could talk to you forever and ever. Can I keep in touch with you? I want to talk to you.
Absolutely, please. Yes, I would. I loved your show, by the way, and thank you so much for allowing me to be here to share this.
Thank you. I'm gonna have you come back in a couple of months and tell us where you are on how the documentary is coming and how things are going. And I just want to pray over you, and I want to make sure that God watches over you. What you're doing is very important work. It's very great healing. And when you first told me what it was, well, I didn't go into the details. I was already proud of you that you're standing up like that. So God bless you real good. I'm not going to even ask you for a woo. I just want to say we appreciate you. And once again, put up where we can find her, Chris, please.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Petra. Victim to Hero on Facebook. Give me the other two you have there, Chris.
We want the victim to not feel like victims. They have the power to be the hero in their own life and save their own children. That's why we call it Victim to Hero. Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Victim to Hero. Do the other two really quick. Victim to Hero. Facebook is Victim to Hero. And finally, you got a third one there, Chris. At All Cost is the name of the upcoming documentary. And this is Dr. Petra Deeter. I really am honored to have had you on this show. You lifted what we are here at this show. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you. Hey, y'all, Dr. Petra Deeter, PhD, on the job, looking out for other people. Am I my brother's keeper? You doggone right. And my sisters too. Yes. And when we get back to looking out for each other, then we're going to be doing what the Lord put us here to do in the first place, is remember that we're each other's brothers and sisters. And somebody got to be out there for the little guy. Somebody got to be out there slugging for the people who don't have nobody there looking out.